Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. This is just going to be a short and sweet market update. It is Monday, the 16th of January 2023, and we're really going to be delivering a kind of outlook on what we think happens next for the crypto space. And we're going to be starting off by looking at the 1 monthly Bitcoin chart using the Heikin-Ashi candles. And the reason that we're looking at this is because we have had, potentially, the month is not over yet, but if we get a green close this month for Bitcoin, then we are looking at, potentially, it's not closed yet, more continuation to the upside. And potentially, after this long drawn out bear market, a weakening of the trend. Anybody who's traded or scalped Heikin-Ashi candles will know how they work. You know, you can kind of they kind of track the flow of the market, whether it's positive or negative, quite well through the colors. You know, red obviously means the market's going down, and when it turns green, usually there's a shift once you've got that green close and you've seen the next one open up. And the reason that I'm bringing this up is because if we do get a green close here on the Heikin-Ashi candles, and this ties in with some other analysis that we've done, and actually we can look at options and a number of other things. We spoke about Grayscale's GBTC and how this is kind of a way to look at what institutions are doing, and the fact that this actually moved before and could be a front runner, a leading indicator to Bitcoin in terms of what institutions are doing and what way they're looking to take the price. But if we get this green close from the Heikin-Ashi candles for the monthly, the next one would likely be another green candle, meaning that we're going to see further upside and continuation. Where exactly that's going to be is still to be seen. I do think this week there is all the elements of a pullback. You know, we've got the dollar, which is at support. I'll see if I can pull that up. You can see the support for the dollar here. And we've also got the stock market, which is actually at resistance. Just taking this off the Heikin-Ashis, and then we'll drop back down into the Heikin-Ashis to just finish our point. And then we're going to look at options for Bitcoin. We're going to look at GBTC's premium or discount, which it currently is, and how that's sort of leading the market. And then we'll talk about a number of other things. You know, we've sort of covered the events of last week in quite a lot of depth in regards to inflation easing, which means the Fed's going to ease, which means that markets are going to reprice, having repriced in where, you know, they thought the Fed were going to go to, and this is ultimately why have markets rallied. It's all to do with inflation and what the Fed do on the back end of that. So we've got the stock market, which is currently at resistance. Stock market's closed today, guys. It's Martin Luther King Day in the US. We've got the dollar, which is at support. It's likely that we're going to get a slight retracement, certainly after Bitcoin's had such an explosive move and is now at resistance. You know, you can see you're getting indecision here and selling in regards to these daily wicks. It's likely that you set some sort of a pullback before looking for that continuation. But I am expecting continuation, guys, at this point to the upside. We've maintained a stance from down here. Please, anybody who thinks that I'm making this up, go and watch my daily cryptocurrency markets from the start of the year. We've continued to stress that we're not calling a bottom here, but we're not bearish necessarily. And actually, we've pinned quite a lot of stuff to our Twitter that you guys can go and view at your own leisure. But let's go back to the monthly, and let me finish this point. You know, if we look at these Heikin-Ashi candles, if we get a green close here, there's never really been a point in Bitcoin's history where you've had only one Heikin-Ashi candle and it hasn't been followed up by another one. So this would be the first time ever that you've only had one green Heikin-Ashi that hasn't been followed up with another one. So I'm going to bet on the side of probability. I think that actually, if we get this green close, look for that next close. Anybody that's scalped with Heikin-Ashis, I've tried scalping with Heikin-Ashis. It's very intense on these smaller time frames. You're just capturing those little percentages. You'll know that this is potentially a trend that's or a down move that's potentially looks like it's losing its oomph. And actually, we could have told you this without looking at the Heikin-Ashis. By using something like the RSI. This is a divergence that we've said you have to take seriously. Right when we were down here, by the way, guys. Actually, if you look at my Twitter, we have actually called all of this quite a few times, and we have said, look, this was from the 6th of December when we first actually started looking at this retracement of the FTX move. We're actually now more on the side that maybe you don't get the down leg having made this target. We did say you get a pullback here, and of course, you have indeed done so. But to me, I actually think Bitcoin's more likely to continue going up, and altcoins will do the same, because there's been this kind of shift, at least until potentially something happens, which maybe the yield curve is predicting, in markets. Certainly with that Heikin-Ashi monthly close, if we get that, you're going to get another green candle. I think you might get a bit of a pullback this week, but it's going to set up for further upside and continuation. I did say I'd let people know whether I bought or not. We will look to do that on Wednesday. Potentially look at a little bit about what I've bought and why I bought. Maybe if that is the case, down at these sort of lows before we got this rally. But we will cover that in a later video. So the bullish div on the RSI does show that the trend's coming to an end or vulnerable to change, just like you had your bearish div here. These diversions need to be taken seriously, in my opinion. And actually, not just the Heikin-Ashi monthly close, maybe. We have looked at stablecoin dominance and how you had your bearish div here. We looked at all of this. I have got a tweet that was for people that felt a little bit upset that I wasn't telling people whether I'd bought or not. If you look at the 11th of January, bearing in mind I've been discussing this now really since the start of the year, we did do a tweet illustrating all of this and looking at reasons before the CPI print why we thought you were actually going to get a lower CPI print, and likely the conditions for markets. Looked at the Fed being a lot less hawkish prior to the news events by looking at data and sort of coming up with our own thesis. So there is definitely the possibility that we see quite a bit more upside for Bitcoin. I think you're going to get a lot of hype and FOMO on the back end of this. I am expecting a pullback. To where exactly that comes, well, it's going to be a case of being observant. I don't necessarily think you're going to run these lows. Or if you do, that could be a buying opportunity, because you could just put it won't look quite like that, but it might be a very sharp news-driven pullback before you then come up and reclaim. I think you're looking at something like this, and you're probably going to find this as support once again. The real question is do you hold it? If you hold it, look for that upside. If you come back below it and start to bang your head, well, then there's nothing to say that you don't revisit these lows after this explosive move. But I am more on the upside continuation side of things. We did speak. The sniper had tagged us over the weekend in a tweet saying before the Bitcoin move, there was a bid run on Grayscale's BTC and discount compression. GBTC is a accepted institutional instrument. Meet your new advanced warning instrument for the markets. And actually, if you look at yesterday's video, guys, we did look at Grayscale's GBTC, and we did say that actually, yes, this is leading the spot Bitcoin price, because it's a kind of barometer to see how institutions are actually buying. And this ran before Bitcoin did, and actually typically has sold off beforehand. So this may be something that you guys should sort of keep an eye on and continue to watch. I found this very interesting as a little bit of sort of news away from the charts. This is options flip to show stronger Bitcoin into July. The long-term sentiment has turned bullish, with Bitcoin showing its biggest weekly percentage gain in 2 years. So, of course, people are going to get on the back end of this. Expectation for Bitcoin's BTC price over the next 6 months have turned positive after a long time, in another sign of confidence in the cryptocurrency's latest bull revival. Bitcoin's 180-day call put skew has crossed above zero for the first time since the start of 2021, indicating that bullish calls options expiring in 6 months have become pricier than bearish puts. So this means that more people are on the long side of the market from a sort of, this is options. So this is more institutional, more sort of traditional in the sense that it's not monitoring people buying spot. It's more people betting and speculating on the derivatives market side of things. According to the chart sourced from digital asset data provider Amber Data, the skew measures the price for calls relative to puts, is a good measure for consensus for 6 months ahead, as both institutions and retail investors use options to speculate and hedge against further shifts in the price of the cryptocurrency market. It goes on to mention a number of things, but this is just, again, confirming really what we've been speaking about since the start of the year. And that is, you know, we didn't take a necessarily bullish stance here. You guys can decide for yourself whether I made the right call or not back here. And I will reveal the call that I made. You know, I'm not trying to shill anything here, guys. I'm just saying that I actually do have a group that get my thoughts on a daily basis and that I have meetings with. And of course, I you know, there needs to be a reason for people to join. There's many reasons, but one of them is they get my thoughts and what I'm doing in terms of my portfolio before I'm even doing it. But we will, of course, and we have promised that we will reveal whether we bought or not and where we bought. You know, are we late to the party? Did we get in before? You guys make your own mind up. And of course, view it for yourself. But please, if you've not already read this thread that I released, please come and do so. So much alpha in here. You got to remember the price of Bitcoin was at 17,500. This is something we were talking about back when the price was at 15 and taking action accordingly. And come and make your own minds up. Top Wall Street analysts like these stocks amid easing inflation. So this kind of easing of inflation is going to be the narrative. I still do expect a pullback for Bitcoin, but because the traditional stock market actually isn't open today and it's just the futures, it might do okay today and then pull back sort of into the week. But we will see. You've got a lot of FOMO and hype surrounding this. I am a lot more bullish right now than I am bearish, certainly in the short term, potentially even mid, you know, up until sort of March, April. But we'll see if that pays off or not. That's all I've got for you in this video, guys. You enjoyed the content, like, always appreciated. So is a comment, as always. And hopefully, I'll see you all in the next YouTube video. Thanks a lot for watching, ladies and gents.